Ladies and gentlemen, and for anyone that likes snow out there, welcome to another episode of Pounds Firearms. Today we're continuing our series on scars for newbies. So we have our scar 17S, and today we're going to disassemble this thing. We're going to go ahead and take it all the way down, including the barrel, so that way you guys can see how that's done. Maybe a quick how-to on maybe cleaning it. There's not a lot of rounds to this thing, so I don't think it's going to be too dirty. But we'll go ahead and use some tools here to take the sucker apart here. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So first thing we want to do is go ahead and make sure the weapon is clear. Bag is empty. Nothing in the chamber. They're good to go. Alright, so if you watched my first video, I slowly went over how to disassemble it here. Or quickly went over how to disassemble it here. So we'll go ahead and just go over it again here. So there's a push pin here that's going to remove the trigger module or lower. Going to have to push it forward and twist it on out. Set that aside. We won't need that anytime soon. Next, got to get rid of the stock. So I like to put my thumb right here and kind of just push down at the top. Slides right out. There's no latches or anything. It just comes right out. So we'll go ahead and set this guy over here. Alright, now we're to the meat and potatoes here. Let me get the magazine out of the way. We're to the meat and potatoes. So I like to go ahead and use the charging handle and kind of finagle the recoil spring out. There goes that. At this point you can go ahead and pull charging handle out and then slide the rest of the bolt carrier group out. There we go. So that's the field strip version of it. We'll go a step further here and we'll go ahead and take this whole thing apart so we can kind of just see how that's done. Alright, so I got my fancy toolkit here. For those that don't recognize this, this is an FN operator's toolkit. We'll go ahead and set that right here. So the first thing we want to go ahead and do is let's go ahead and pull the gas piston out. Do have to lift up the front sight. There's the adjustment knob here. So 12 o'clock is suppressed or unsuppressed. 10 o'clock is suppressed. And then all the way down here to 4 o'clock is how you take it apart. So typically I take my charging handle. There's a little pin right there, D10 pin. Push that down and push that over. In the event that you have too many rounds on it and you can't get that off, there is a tool for that in the scar kit here. So open this bad boy up. This tool right here, there's a little notch. That little notch by default would grab onto the handle here, whichever way is going to give it pressure right there, and you can break it loose that way. Scar kit also has a few other tools that we're probably going to need here. This is a T25, which we'll need for the barrel. Alright, so we'll go ahead and pull this off. It is a little dirty, I guess. So pull off the cover there. Now, there's a piston in there. It's almost impossible to get that out with your bare hands. Some people are going to get a long cleaning rod from a 22 and jam it in there. I have the scar kit, so I'm going to go ahead and use the scar kit here. So there's this little adapter. Little adapter's neat here. So this little bridge, it's going to point up. Sun's getting kind of nasty. And then there's grooves right here that line up with the receiver here. So if we line this up, can't really see it here, but there's little grooves. Same place that your bolt carrier group would go, and it starts to slide down. I take the bolt carrier group and immediately follow that. I didn't have the bolt all the way forward here. So what I like to do, just to make sure that there's pressure, put the charging handle back in there just for leverage. I don't know if you can see it or not here, but you'll see it. It's starting to work its way forward, and eventually it's going to stop. It's at the stopping point there. I don't know if you can see it or not here. So basically just keep hammering this through until it comes out. There it goes. So now work this back out. The tool sometimes follows, sometimes doesn't. You might have to, I just take the charging handle and shove it back through, and there it goes. Tool came out. Alright, so now we got the piston out. That's a little on the dirty side. So I do not have the Scar Operators cleaning kit. So PS, anybody out there, if you have one or you know where to get one, please let me know. I'd love to get my hands on one. I know there's other cleaning kits out there. I just want the Scar one. But the Scar one has kind of like little holes like this where you can go in and clean things out here. This one is not designed for that, but you can go in there and ream this all out and clean all the carbon off of it. So they do say do not put this in wet, so if you do use cleaning solution on it, just make sure it goes in there dry. Alright, well that's that so far. Last thing here, if you had optics and stuff like that, you'd have to, you know, watch out for that, or maybe disassemble lights if you had lights. Luckily I don't have any of that yet. Well, not luckily I guess, but I don't have any of those yet. Stay tuned for the next episodes because I might. Alright, so the last thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and play with the barrel here. Doesn't really matter which order you do disassemble the barrel. And basically you're going to loosen these until the ratcheting stops. Ratcheting stopped. Ratcheting stopped. Ratcheting stopped. They are captive, so you don't have to worry about them falling out. Flip it over to the other side here. That one was in there. Plus the tool kind of pokes you a little bit. Ratcheting stopped. Ratcheting stopped. Ratcheting stopped. All right. So as long as they're all loose, basically what happens is, I'm going to go and fold this down so it sits a little more flush. So I'm going to push this forward until it's not quite there. There's a little indentation here on the upper, right there. See those grooves? Then it actually slides right out, just like that. There. There we go. So now, change out barrels, replace barrels, inspect the barrel, whatever you want to do. So in this case, let's go ahead and set the upper up here for right now. That is a full disassembly of the Scar. So take a look here. So yeah, if you wanted to, you can clean that whole thing in there. I'm not yeah, I don't have to have it so clean that I can eat out of it. But yeah, that's where we're at with this one. So barrel, so for those of you that wanted to know how to clean it, we'll just throw some lube down it here. So nothing special, I just got some cotton pads. Usually I use a leftover t-shirt, but I didn't get the t-shirts cut out on time, so I'm just using these pads. Take a couple of these out. Peel them apart maybe. Alright, so nothing fancy on my cleaning kit here. It's just one of those Otis universal kits. I probably should use other adapters or whatnot, but this is what I have. So I like to rip these up a little bit, fold them a couple times, just enough to fit in the groove. Maybe. There we go. Huh, well it's really, oh my gosh. That is so sad that my Scars took it apart, because there is a freaking fox right there going after my chickens. I'll be right back. I might have to go get a different gun. Alright, well I'm back. By the time I got the AR, he was running off. He must have saw me hooting and hollering. I'll let my dogs out to see if they'll go chasing him, so we'll see what happens here. But back to where we were at. So I was trying to run some liquid down the barrel here. All right, so I got my pad in there. I'm gonna put a little CLP down here. So I usually lather it up pretty good. I mean, I don't see CLPs on the expensive side, but whichever. Neighbor's fox dog's going off again, but I don't see the fox, so we'll just keep going here. Alright, so I'm going to take this. Now, obviously, quick disclaimer, you don't have to disassemble the barrel to clean it. So that was just something I was doing to show you a full dismantle, and since it was here, I decided to go ahead and clean the barrel out. So the problem with the brake, it's a pretty aggressive brake, and I'm probably not using the right string for it here, so doggone it. Whoa, looks like we're going to be playing with this for a few seconds here. See if I can get it to go through. Come on, buddy. Don't be a pain. I'm trying to show stuff off. Alright, so got her in there. Go and just push her through. There's not a lot of tension on there. Let's pull it out. Main thing is I'm just trying to get it all nice and goopy in there. Probably put a little bit more and get some more goop going down there. Put some on this front side here where it's getting dirty. Alright, let's try it one more time here. So typically, I mean, there's a million videos out there on how to clean guns. You do what you want. If you want to be able to eat out of them, fine. I'm going to do it just real quick here. I'll do one more pass, and then I'll wipe her down. Alright, so I'm going to do one more pass. Get that boar nice and juicy there. Alright, so I'm going to take this off. So now, clean what you want. None of this stuff here that I'm wiping down right now is vital to the operation. It's cosmetic. But I just saw some goop there, so I decided to clean it. So I will just run a couple wipes down the teeth here because they were kind of grimy. So I'll do that a little bit here. I'm using the sun to take a look at that here. Yeah, so it's getting pretty cruddy up in there. So you know what? I'll go ahead and... I usually don't clean this. That's probably why it's so dirty, because I usually don't go that far into it. But since you guys are calling me out, no, nobody called me out, but since it's all nasty here on camera, might as well get some of it going. Alright, good enough. Cool. Alright, so gas piston, run a little bit through here. You're not going to get a lot of that carbon off. Most of that just won't come out, so I'm going to run a little bit through there, get it a little juicy. Remember, this needs to go in dry, so make sure you dry it really well when you put it back together here. Yeah, so since I don't have the scraping tool, I can't get a good clean on it here, but we'll call that good enough for now. Let it soak in for a second. This one, I'll go ahead and just clean the outside. So one thing you do want to make sure with the scar is, so this is the suppressor setting. Remember there's 12, which is regular, and then 10, which is suppressor. There are different size ports in here, so you just want to make sure those ports are cleaned out. They actually got a tool. I don't have the tool, but they have a little tiny punch that goes into there that you can get. I think Shooting Sight has some good ones. I don't know if it's part of the scar cleaning kit or not, but I don't have the scar cleaning kit. Alright, so pretending this is still in there, we'll go ahead and just leave that aside in the upper. The receiver. So I typically, this to me is mostly cosmetic. There are the grooves that it lines up on, so we just make sure there's nothing impeding the grooves. But I don't clean the outside all that much. Now what you want to look for is the wear marks. So there's some wear marks there, some wear marks there. So those are good areas to lube. So whenever you see wear marks, that means metal is touching metal. So good idea to lube those up here. So I'm just going to give them a quick wipe, and then when I put it back together, we'll give it a quick good lube down here. So to take the bolt out, take your charging handle. There's a side that sticks out and a side that it doesn't stick out here. So this pin, use your charging handle, pop that pin out. Pin comes out. Now you can remove the firing pin. Then your bolt can come right out of there. So I don't have the scar cleaning kit here, so cleaning the inside of that would probably be good. Looks like the face is pretty beat up here, so we're going to give it a couple wipes on the face here. Maybe I'll just put some drops directly on it and give it a little wipe and let that stuff soak in for a few seconds there. So the good thing, the inside where the bolt runs, can't really tell on camera, but it doesn't look horrible in there, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that here. Alright, close that lid up. So then this guy, give this for sure a good wipe down. This one obviously gets lubed, so we're okay leaving it there, or leaving it juicy. Give it a good wipe, just make sure there's, in the teeth here, make sure there's nothing keeping the teeth from going here. Alright, got a good wipe down on this. Perfect. Cam pin. Yeah, we're getting some carbon off this guy. Probably should have put some gloves on. I hear some chickens screaming, but those aren't my chickens. So I don't know if the fox is still around or not. Get that guy wiped down. This pin doesn't really matter. Yeah, got it all wiped down. Oh, firing pin. Better do the firing pin. Give the firing pin a good clean in here. All right, good thing is the firing pin's coming out pretty clean. Cool. All right, well, here we are. We got it all pretty cleaned out. Obviously some people would go until the pads are white here. I'm not that anal about it. So I'm gonna go through and just give everything a quick wipe down just to get any excess junk off. Put all this back on this side. Cam pin. Oh. There's a chicken losing his life over there, I think. Hopefully it's not mine. I better not be laughing. Doggone it. Alright, so the part we do want to dry for sure is this part here, all gas related. And for sure this guy. Get this all nice and dried out. Now my dogs are barking. All right, let's put this guy back together real quick here before we waste the entire video. I keep looking at, hey, quiet. I keep looking down range there, seeing the dang fox shows back up, but I haven't seen him yet. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stick this back in there now. Remember, the receiver sits like this, so think of where your ejection port's at. So we're gonna go ahead and do it this way. Oh, I lied. I just put some drops of lube down here. Put that back in here. Perfect. Maybe a drop of lube on the pin. Put that back in here. So you do want the groove to face down bore. Firing pin. Shove that guy in there. Now you can see if you don't have the firing pin all the way, can't really tell on camera, but you'll be able to tell there. Yeah, like right there. That one's not in all the way, so you do want it right in that area there, and then stick your pin in. It does stick up a little bit, but you do want to put some pressure on it. Get it to seat as much as you can. There. That's functioning now. Cool. Alright, so we'll set this guy aside. We're going to go ahead and put the barrel back in. Get this out of the way here. Alright, so reverse operation of the barrel here. So we're going to front sight's down. This is the notch I'm talking about right here, if you can see that. That's where that's going to go into. Once it's seated all the way, slide her on back. Maybe. Oh, captive screws. Gotta make sure these captive screws stay out. There we go. Alright, so rule of thumb is once you slide this back in there, this is going to stay flush. Once it's flush, then you know you're all the way in. Alright, so now we're going to get this fancy guy out of here. This is part of the factory toolkit. It is set for 62 inch-pounds, which is what FN recommends for their scar. We'll go ahead and do this. Now, they say you do have to do it in a specific order. It does need to start on the shooter side. First pin, first screw on the shooter side. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten all these up until they're snug. And you do want to tighten these up in order. So it's, you start on the shooter side, then opposite side, then go up one, opposite side, up one, opposite side, and you keep going down the list till you get to all 6 of them here. So that one finally grabbed, snug. Back to this side. Put this down here. Get it to go. There we go. Snug. Flip it over. Snug. Flip it over again. So you do want to, like I said, rotate back and forth. Snug. Snug. Perfect. Set that guy aside here. So now we're ready for the torque. So just put it in there, turn it till it pops. One done. Other side. 2 done. Other side. Oh, didn't give myself enough leverage there. Ran out of travel on the wrist. 3 done. 4 done. 5 done. 6 done. All right, get the barrel back in. You know, just to be safe here, we'll go through and just make sure they're torque one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. We're gonna call that good. Now what we're gonna go ahead and do is put this back in here. So we got all this together, firing pins in there, cam pin, it's locked, it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and line this up. Oh, let's lube this sucker out first. So put a drop or 2 where there's wear marks. I'm gonna put this whole rail because there's a lot of friction there, it looks like. Drop some in there. There, there. Perfect. All right. Line it up with the grooves. Put it in there. Now you don't want to. So this bolt needs to be forward. You want to line this up until you can see your little hole for the charging handle. For those that don't know, if you didn't watch my last video, at this point you can flip it to either side if you want. I like it on the left. There, charging handle's in there. Go ahead and put my recoil spring in. Now, the recoil spring only goes in one way. There's these little notches. If you can see that, turn these around until they get to the right spot. There we go. That's put together. Cool. Last piece here is, well, second to the last piece. Put the stock on. There's no snap or anything, kind of just goes up in there. I'm going to go ahead and put the lower in here. Pin it in, check for function. All right, function is there. All right, now that was your chance to go ahead and send me any comments. Had you had I missed anything here? So I didn't put the gas block back in there, or the gas tube back in there, or the piston. I haven't put that back in there, so we'll do that. And you know what? I didn't run the bore snake down either, so man, we're going to fast forward this so I can take this all back apart. Sorry, the box got no weird out here, so you probably see this fast forward and take all that apart. Run the bore snake out real quick. Get it all nice dry in there. Oh, knocking it around. Come on. Knocking right out. Alright, bore snake through. Run one more time to make sure there's nothing crazy in there. Alright, perfect. Got that out of the way. Alright, so let's put this back in. Technically you can do it even with the gun together here, but we'll go ahead and just put it in here. So put the front side back up. Slide this over so you can see it. Feels dry enough. They say that the grooves on this thing, so you want them in opposite directions, so I think we're good enough. You know, probably should have scraped that, but oh well. Put that back in there. So this needs to be in the 4 o'clock. And once it's in the 4 o'clock, you rotate up, push that D10 in, and snap it in. Alright, so we're at the 10, 12, 10, 12. We'll go to the 4. Cool, we are together now. Put that front side back down. Alright, we'll fast forward. What did I forget? Oh, I forget the whole. Make sure you guys keep me honest. I'm sure I have 100 comments on that. There we go, get that in there. Line it up. It's in there. Line this up. That was right first time. It's up there now. It's up there now. Snap it in there. There we go. Alright. Function. Function. Alright, everything seems to be working. Cool, put that back sight back down. There we go. Alright, well, that was a full disassemble. A couple of rookie mistakes, reassembling it. A quick clean job. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I haven't done a video yet on this, on the SCAR Operators Kit. So if you guys are interested in seeing that in action, let me know. We'll go ahead and do that, do a video on that here if you wanted to see those in detail. But yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Once again, this is Pound from Pound's Firearms, signing off.